One of the ways that I try and contextualize modern issues is to look at them through an anthropological lens. I've always done this because as a kid I adored history, and my dream job was always to be an archaeologist, but that's never going to happen. But I like to compare things as they have been, as they might be in the future. Everything is always viewed, in my brain at least, on a timeline in terms of its progression. And I really wonder how people in the future are going to look back at this country now and go, why were legislators that have zero education on any medical anything allowed to make medical decisions for people, let alone tell doctors that they are not allowed to save someone's life? Elected officials that don't have any even basic understanding of anatomy and physiology, of pathophysiology, of pharmacology, any disease process or etiology, are allowed to tell doctors, you can't save someone's life because I have a random, misplaced, uneducated disagreement with what I think is going on there. Like, I could decide right now, I know absolutely nothing about cars, but I'm going to legislate that mechanics can't do certain things on cars because I don't like it. Because I am going to misappropriate quotes from the Bible and use them to say that, you shouldn't get your oil changed ever. Or who the fuck knows? Could you imagine if doctors were like, we need to make some changes with the finance industry because my patients can't afford procedures. They can't afford any of the interventions I'm suggesting. They can't afford their prescriptions. So I think we're actually going to increase the minimum wage. Can you imagine? You should first have to describe every stage of human gestation. You should have to describe every kind of complication that can take place. You should have to describe why intervening in those complications is somehow wrong. And you should have to describe what you think is supposed to be done differently. Some guy was complaining online that, such and such doesn't need to be an abortion and there should be a way to fix it. The idea that doctors, scientists, researchers have been studying for years and can't fix this might mean that it's more complex than you think it is and that it isn't fixable. If we pretended for a second that we lived in a world where legislators don't have the right to make medical decisions for people, and then tried to apply that to that world, we'd be going, why? What do you mean? What do you mean somebody that, for all I know, hasn't even studied law to be a legislator, let alone studied medicine, gets to tell a doctor not to save me? Because they think the procedure's icky? Yeah, no more prostate exams because some homophobe is like, nah, I don't want doctors. I don't even want to think about a doctor sticking a finger up somebody's butt.